And the next chapter is on contract. Now, here's a definition of the law. The law refers to a body of principles and rules of behaviour passed by the government to avoid conflict and to settle disputes in an orderly way. In Ireland, the lawmakers are the Dáil, the Seanad, with EU legislation and the judiciary. Now, the first thing we're going to look at now is a definition of a contract. A contract is a legally binding agreement which is enforced by law. Legally binding means that the law recognises that the people who made the contract have both rights and duties as a result of the contract or as a result of the agreement. An agreement may be made in the following ways: orally, in writing, or implied by conduct. Now, so there's your definition. There are 7 main elements to a contract: offer, acceptance, and consideration. Now, these 3 are vital and must be part of every single contract. 4, 5, 6, and 7: capacity to contract, intention to contract, legality of form, and legality of purpose. These may be part of a contract. If they're not, it could make the contract difficult to enforce. But the first 3 are vital elements of a contract. Now let's have a look. Offer. Here's your definition. An offer is a promise or understanding by the person making the offer to be bound by the contract if the offer is accepted properly. A valid offer must be clear, unconditional, made known, expressed or implied, and may be cancelled at any time before it is accepted. If you're asked for a definition of an offer, I would put the whole lot in. Now, how can an offer be terminated? Revocation. The person making the offer may change his mind and withdraw the offer before it is accepted. Rejection. The person receiving the offer rejects it. Pressure or duress. If the offer is accepted through duress, that's physical or mental pressure, the contract is not valid. And lapse of time. The passage of time may cause the offer to lapse and so not be accepted. And lastly, the last one then would be a counteroffer. If any changes to the contract are sought before an agreement is reached, then it is regarded as a counteroffer and the original offer is dead. Now here's an interesting one, invitation to treat. An invitation to treat is an invitation to a person to make an offer. It is simply the beginning of the process which may or may not end in an agreement. For example, goods displayed in a shop window are regarded as an invitation to treat. Now, a question has come up before in the past is, what is the difference between an offer and an invitation to treat? An offer is a promise or understanding by the person making the offer to be bound by the contract if it is accepted properly. An offer must be clear, unconditional, made known, expressed or implied, and can't be cancelled at any time before it is accepted. An invitation to treat is not an offer. It is basically an invitation to treat is an invitation to a person to make an offer. It is simply the beginning of the process which may or may not end in an agreement. That's your answer. Number 2, acceptance. To accept means to unconditionally agree to the terms of the offer made. Or you could say, an acceptance of an offer must have no conditions attached to it and must fully agree with the terms of the original offer. An acceptance is not, so any of those 2 will do, and then you put this in. An acceptance is not valid if it is qualified in any way by having conditions attached to it. Acceptance can be oral, written or implied. Acceptance must be clear, and acceptance must be unqualified and exactly match the offer. Now that would be a very interesting short question. And number 3, consideration. The acceptance of an offer must be accompanied by some advantage or benefit. That's called the consideration, moving from one person to another in the contract. It could be cash, a check, or something of value. It could be a swap. Consideration must be real and valuable, and consideration must not be illegal. The contract cannot exist without consideration. So as I said, the first 3, offer, acceptance, and consideration, are vital elements. Matters affecting valid contracts. Even if the first 3 elements essential to making a contract are present, if there is a doubt about any of the following 4 points, the contract may be weakened. Intention to contract. There must be an intention to create a legal bargain. The law upholds agreements because the parties intended to create a legal partnership. No mistakes were made, no force was used, and no lies were told. Capacity to contract, number 5 now. This has come up on a number of occasions in long and short questions. Capacity to contract. Now, all human beings and all corporate beings can enter into contracts. That is a major NB. Now, you have no capacity to contract if you are under 18 years of age, you're a legal infant, persons of unsound mind, persons under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or companies acting ultra vires